Good evening and welcome to Week 11 Picks from Heaven. I'd like to start out by somberly stating an apology for the actions that were witnessed on this program last weekend. Several people, myself included, had a little bit too much to drink that night, and we took things a little too far. It's pretty serious. It's pretty serious. So we apologize for anybody who was offended by our actions. We'd like to present the local Week 11 picks in a much more serious tone, and let's see if we can make this okay with a couple of good bets for you. Needless to say, last week we were 5-0 in the NFL. So there was something that came out of that shit show that happened up in Watertown, Wisconsin last Saturday night. 0-2 in the NCAAs. So we were up 3 for the week, and being as that before last week we were 500, we are now 3 games over 500. So if you're playing all our games, you got some green in your back pocket. We're going to start with a new segment this week. We're going to read some letters that we've gotten in, some emails that we've gotten in, and letters. A couple people have actually sent me letters via UPS, USPS, DHL, FedEx. We're going to read just a couple ones that were randomly chosen by my production manager. And then after that, we'll go right towards the picks, okay? Here's number 1. And again, you can email me at thelocal78@yahoo.com if you have any questions or comments. Dear Local, you suck. I lost my house because of your dumb picks, you cheesehead loser. I hope you choke on a bratwurst. Sincerely, Marv Levy. Well, first of all, whoever wrote that is a chicken, because there's no way Marv Levy would say those things about me. Marv Levy is a great man. And if he was going to make some fun of somebody for losing, all you'd have to do in response is say 4 years in a row. So whoever you are, Marv Levy, my office is at 250 North Washington. Anytime you think you're man enough, you come on down and I will whip your ass. You got that, big boy? Next letter. Dear Local, how did you get Northwestern and Nebraska a few weeks back? Nobody had Nebraska. Sincerely, Remo. Well, Remo, that's why I paid so good. Easy. Write me again when you get out. Here's the final one. Dear Local, please cut your hair. You look ridiculous. Sincerely, Blankethead. Great. Freaking guy can't even come up with his real name. He calls himself Blankethead. What's that supposed to be? Some guy that walks around with a freaking blanket on his head? What kind of loser would do something like that? Enough nonsense. Let's get to the picks. This week we've got 6 NFL picks and 2 college picks. We're going to start with the 2 college games. The first one is Wisconsin at Illinois tomorrow. Wisconsin giving up 14.5. And I really don't quite understand why Wisconsin has only given up 14.5. Illinois has proven themselves worthless the last month, and Wisconsin is 2 Hail Marys away from a perfect season. Wisconsin's got their eyes on the prize, minus 14.5 at Memorial Stadium in Champaign. Take the Badgers, give the points. Second game is Houston against SMU. Houston's been real good to us lately. Houston is murdering everybody, but they are playing SMU. The last 2 weeks they played UAB and Tulane, beat them both by about 50 points each. SMU is a better team, so I think they'll put up some more points on Houston, so I'm going to stay away from the point spread, and I'm going to go with the over, which is 75.5. I think that's a lot of points. Houston scored 73 on their own last week, number 1 offense. So look out. They don't got a very good defense, and SMU's okay with offense too, so we're going to go with the over 75.5. Oh! Okay, now we're going to go to the NFL. We got 6 games. Again, we were 5-0 last week, and we're starting to get charged up now because this is the real meat and potatoes of the week. We got 6 great NFL picks. The first pick is going to be the Cincinnati Bengals at the Baltimore Ravens. A lot of people thought that the Cincinnati Bengals were going to be proven false last week when they played the Pittsburgh Steelers. They did lose the game, but they showed up a lot better than most people, including myself, would think. I like them to show up here again. Baltimore is favored by 7. I like Cincinnati plus the 7 at Baltimore. Baltimore is a real streaky team. It's really strange. Go back and look at their record. See who they've beaten and see who they lost to. Who had them losing to Seattle? Nobody. Next game, Carolina at Detroit. Detroit giving up 7. Embarrassed last week at Soldier Field. Carolina, the wheels are kind of coming off. They were looking pretty solid for a long time, not really winning a lot of games, but they were staying in games. It's not going to happen again. Detroit's going to beat them pretty good. I got Detroit minus the 7. Next game, we got Dallas at Washington. Every time I've picked against Washington, I have been right, and this will be no different. Dallas is starting to come around, and they always come around when they play bad teams. Washington is terrible. Ooh, Rex Grossman's back. Great. Dallas minus 7, all right? Yeah, great. Next game, Tennessee at Atlanta. Atlanta, nice call, Mike Smith. 4th and goal at what, your own 28 in overtime? Or 4th and inches, rather, your own 28 in overtime? You go for it. Stupid. Take Atlanta. They're going to come back minus 6 against Tennessee at home. No problem. Philadelphia at New York. We don't know if Vic's playing. It appears that he's not going to play. Giants are coming off that tough loss against San Francisco. They're only giving up 6. I like the Giants. The Eagles are done. Reed needs to get the hell out of there. And the last game, Kansas City at New England. New England giving up 14.5. Take New England and lay the points. New England is starting to hit their stride, and Kansas City is starting to not hit anything. So, Tyler Palko, you got a long day in front of you, pal, and you better be prepared for it because these guys are going to punch your mouth loose all over the field. The New England defense is starting to come out of its shell a little bit. Brady's got some interesting games coming up. So take the New England Patriots minus 14.5. And that is the pick of the week. Email us at thelocal78@yahoo.com. Thank you for joining us. Tonight's program has been sponsored by Mr. Ice. It's the clink that makes the drink. Good night.